I'm Trudy Tuttle Arriaga. I'm the very proud superintendent of the Ventura Unified School District. I've served Ventura Unified 11 years as superintendent and 31 years as an employee.
Good morning. My name is Jeff Chancer, and I'm superintendent of Oxnard School District.
I'm Paul Chounet, superintendent of Santa Paula Elementary School District.
My name is Gabe Samakian. I'm the superintendent of the Oxnard Union High School District.
My name is Jeff Barstead. I'm the superintendent of Conejo Valley Unified School District in Ventura County.
My name is Teresa Williams, and I'm superintendent of the Moore Park Unified School District.
I think that the large-scale media and perceptions are just dead wrong. I've been in public education for 35 years. I've never seen us being more effective. We know now what works. When you look at academic test scores in this state over the last 10 years, and you can have whatever opinions you want about those academic test scores and their relevancy, I happen to find them to be very relevant. I think they measure the kinds of things that we generally want kids to learn, and they are up across the board. And they are up as revenues to education have gone down. I don't think we've ever been stronger. I don't think for us the path has ever been clearer. We've got to have the resources. We've got to have the resources. But if we get cut at the level they're talking about in November, I'm not sure we're going to be able to recover for a decade. One of the things that is our strength right now, at least in my school district, is that people have maintained their dedication to kids and their joy at being a part of education, in spite of the fact that we've given them furlough days, their compensation has been reduced, the supplies and materials they need to teach have been reduced, but it hasn't broken their spirit. And what concerns me about what could happen in November is we'll break their spirit. And if that happens, then I think a generation of California kids are going to be at risk, and that worries me tremendously.
I see technology as having had a tremendous positive impact on our K-12 students. Today, our teachers are utilizing technology in every aspect of the curriculum. And frankly, we're trying to keep up with our students. You know, our students are the ones who are coming to us as first, second graders with high levels of technological knowledge and expertise and experience.
I believe that present-day technology can have a huge influence, particularly on the students that we serve in the Oxnard School District. Have them be able to utilize technology not only at school but at home really equalizes the playing field for our children.
I see present-day technology contributing to students in a very positive way. Students from very rural areas, they didn't have the same opportunities as students in the more urban or suburban areas had. The baseline is, it really is the great equalizer in education. It allows students in any part of the country or any part of the world to have the same access and the same opportunities as students who are in the more advanced areas. Technology, many times in the past, you got your basic education and then you chose your career field. And in this case, you can start with your career field as a student, and you can do that from anywhere in the world.
Well, when we take a look at technology and the K-12 environment, what we have to recognize is that the students today are living in a different world than the world that we grew up in as educators. And the technology that students are using today, they're really digital learners. And when they're at home, they're using technology certainly differently than the opportunities they have in the classroom. What we want to try to do is to provide students an opportunity in a digital environment in the classroom so they can really connect with their learning.
In terms of the future of technology and education, I do think that there's great potential for doing what's called, people are now using this term, flipping the classroom. The traditional model is that the teacher provides content. The teacher presents content. When kids are on their own, they're practicing skills.
When I think about the future of classrooms, you know, I have to think about today, because just in my 11 years as superintendent, the classroom has changed dramatically. Today, whether you're in a kindergarten classroom or a high school seniors classroom, you see whiteboard technology, you see smart boards, you see students using netbooks, you see students using iPads. Students are taking out their iPhones to get the answer that was just asked of them by a teacher. And frankly, I can't imagine what it's going to look like 10 years from now. The future is here. The future is here, and we're just trying to keep up with it.
Technology can be integrated in a variety of different ways. I think that we need to get away from the teacher being the person in front of a group of students and let students explore things and learn on their own, and the teacher being more of a resource.
If I was to look at classrooms and how technology impacts classrooms today or in the future, I think you'd see something that you have never seen before. Number one, I think it would be very difficult to define what a classroom is. 20 years ago, you could easily define what a classroom was. You went to a school and you had many classrooms, and those classrooms, would be in some sort of organized fashion of a building. And today, the classroom can be anywhere. Tomorrow's classroom is going to be whatever you envision it to be, and it's going to take technology.
Well, the whole key to using technology in the classroom is really about how students are engaging on project-based learning, really looking at working together in a group to solve not only content, but look at the curriculum differently. I think students have to be given the opportunity to work together, look at data, put together some solutions using not only the web, but a lot of resources that are out there that will help them understand how to pose the problems and how to respond to the questions differently than just simply sitting in the classroom and giving an answer.
And a lot of what we're looking at right now in technology is that you can present content through technology. The Khan Academy is a great example of where kids can go online and have a 15-minute lesson in a particular skill, let's say with algebra. And when you come to school to get feedback and have interactions with your teacher that's guiding you in your learning. 2-year-olds are using iPads now, and they're using them very effectively. Kids as young as 3.5 and 4 are downloading apps based on their interests. Are we going to turn around and have that kid hit kindergarten and say, okay, put down your iPad, here's a pencil, here's a piece of paper, here we go. They're going to go right around us as students. They're going to go right around us if that's our approach. I just don't think it'll work.
Technology is a tool that has come on to the schools very quickly. It is something that's very exciting because now students have a way to access information that perhaps the teacher cannot give to them, but they are able to do research on their own. The teacher becomes the facilitator, and via the internet they can learn more. There's also online learning, and there's what they call the flipped classroom, where students from kindergarten through 12th grade can be at home, maybe working with their parents, go online and access information, lesson plans that are online. And then when they get back to school, the teacher can review that information and help them to
Other ways of generating revenue include our community. And at this point in time, we could not do it without our community partners. Our community partners have really wrapped their arms around us, and they have provided additional resources, additional services through our foundation, the Ventura Education Partnership, through PTAs, PTOs, through our Chamber of Commerce, our city. They have all come forward to make certain that the children of Ventura continue to have quality services and programs.
I think the new sources of revenues that we need to look at is work with corporations and businesses in our community to have them contribute to the future of the city of Oxnard, where I'm employed. A community like Oxnard, if they want to be this 5-star community for the people in Oxnard, that will only happen if the schools in Oxnard are 5 stars. But if we want to attract business and community members to the city of Oxnard, we have to have a top-flight education system.
I believe that when we look at new revenues, we really have to think differently than we've thought in the past. In the past, we've thought that we've gotten a certain amount of money from the state or local taxpayers. We got some donations from maybe community members or some local businesses, and we use that to develop our budgets, and we went about our way. And then you have to look outside of your traditional tax resources and look to many kinds of resources, including resources that you can generate through technology. Each person, rather than one person giving $1 million, we can have 1 million people giving $1.
The current economic crisis that we're in terms of generating additional revenue for schools is really challenging. And I think that what we have to do is not to be solely dependent on Sacramento or the federal government, even though that's a strong revenue stream. We're going to have to be really innovative and creative, working with business partnerships and creating alliances with our business so that when we produce our students for the economy and our partners in Ventura, businesses will then be able to contribute and want to contribute with us in terms of designing the learning to serve them as well.
When somebody asks me about new ways to raise revenues for schools and challenges me in that regard, I got to tell you, at this moment in history, it pisses me off. I don't think our job should be how to scrape around to find bottom of the trash can revenues to support education. I don't believe we're getting the resources in California that kids deserve. If we were grossly wasting money in California education, then the rest of the country is absolutely throwing money out the window, because we're now 47th out of 50 states. And we're something like $3,500 below average per child. I think we have to look to our broader culture and say, what's a good education worth?
Today in today's schools, we are being asked how we can acquire more money because we know we're not getting what we need from the state. And that's something the school boards will ask superintendents. And it's very frustrating because traditionally, that's not been our role. But in Moore Park, what we have done is we did a recent mail campaign where we asked our parents to contribute money to our foundation. And I have to say that what that showed was a big commitment from our community.
When we think about our graduates today, certainly, we want them to be prepared for college and university. Every child should be prepared, but not every child is going to make that choice. We want children, adults, young adults, who graduate from high school to have an array of choices. And that might be going straight into adult education program, into an opportunity for them to hone a skill where they have found a talent or a passion or desire. It might be to go on to a 4-year university and on through graduate studies. It might be to serve our country through the military. It might be to go directly into the workforce because we have prepared them in the K through 12 system to be really well prepared citizens for the workforce. So the most important thing is that our children are work ready, college ready, to go wherever they choose to go and be successful in whatever role they choose.
Students need to be exposed to a variety of different interests that they're enthusiastic about. Students and adults, in my opinion, need to be able to follow their passion, whatever that passion is. Whether that passion is going to Harvard, whether that passion is going out and being an electrician or working on cars, whatever that passion is, they need to be able to follow that. Yet they still need to be able to have the education to be able to do that particular job. If a student wanted to work on cars, which is a strong passion for many, they still need to have an incredible education. They need to know technology. They need to know the physics of engines. If a student wanted to be a carpenter, they definitely need to know geometry and how different angles work. And sometimes in our classrooms, we're focused on one part of the education, but how does that geometry or that math class or that physics class really relate to the world of work? And I feel strongly about career technical education to get our students prepared for the real world, whether that's college or the workforce.
News of post K-12 education available to students and now. I would say that your imagination is really your only limit. Yes, I'm a full believer in a college education. I believe that opportunity should be available to every student that graduates from high school. I think that they should have the ability to access college education if that's their choice. I think in the past we really limited those choices to students. And so it's not that every student's going to go to college, but every student should have an opportunity to go to college if they choose. There are many other opportunities for students outside K-12 education. One large one that I experienced myself is the military. I went right from high school into the military, and I would say that was really the beginning of my education beyond high school. And from that, I could progress through, and after I got out of the military, I pursued my college education and then went into teaching. And I think there's not just one way. I think it's very important not to devalue any further education outside of K-12 education, and not believe that there's one set way for every student. And just as in education itself, it's very individualized. There are so many opportunities involving job-based opportunities, on-the-job training, technical schools, community colleges, adult schools, you name it. Like I said in other things that I've answered, is that it really is only limited to the imagination. I think that we ought to rely on the creativity of our students. They know things that we don't know, and they're going to develop things that we have never been able to develop. And if we somehow try to contain them in our view, then we really will contain them. Where are their limits, not their accelerators.
Providing educational options for students is really important, and that's an area I'm trying to focus on in our districts. And what we want to do is take a look at a career path. We're very fortunate in Oxnard Union High School District where we have 8 academies, and we're trying to bring 2 more academies on for next year. One of them is the Channel Islands Transportation Academy, and we're also building and defining an academy at Camarillo High School on agriculture and business combined. So we have multiple academies in place now, like the Culinary Academy at Pacifica. We have the Engineering Academy at Wainimi. We believe that we need to provide students multiple options in terms of academies and career paths so they can move forward in their choices in life. So when they're completing the A through G requirement for college, it's not just focused on college or career path, it's a combination of either path.
I think the question of what can a kid do when they graduate from high school that's not the traditional college university experience is a hugely important question at this point in time. And I think this is a classic place where we could have partnerships between education and business. I was recently at a meeting sponsored by the Ventura County Office of Ed where we got to meet with some of the high-level manufacturing firms in Ventura County. They're looking for something that's past what we produce, but that doesn't require a college education. One of the companies needed like 1.5 years of highly technical training that would allow you to use computerized machine tools. And it's a tremendous job. I don't remember the salary level, but I'm thinking it's a $70,000 a year job. But they're not taking high school graduates that are promising in math and science, and yet they don't even need a full community college degree. So, and this is one I'd like to kind of turn back on the business community. If you have this large untapped need for staff, the old concept of would it serve them well to start some of their own training programs where they pay minimum wage and guarantee somebody that you get through my program in 1.5 years and you have a $70,000 job, I think they'd have people lining up down the street. I do know from both professional and personal experience with some of my friends' kids where they're going to technical schools that promise a lot, they cost a lot, and they haven't delivered on the back end with the jobs. Be it network training, chef training, some things like that. I think there's some other areas right now where, for example, medical assistants and stuff like that. We have a very good medical assistant training and phlebotomy training in our adult school in Conejo. And we're producing people that are ready to be employed and they're getting good employment. So clearly we're unless you want to work minimum wage in a service industry, there's this niche between the fully college educated person and the person with enough very specialized technical training to get entry level in really good jobs. And I think we collaboratively need to figure that out. I think there's a place there for adult education. I think there's a place there for the community college. I would love to have a program where a kid in a junior year could declare to be part of a 2-year academy that if you graduate from that 2-year academy, then that company will hire you into their minimum wage for a 1.5-year training program. So I think there's things like that we could look at. It's tough right now though, because resources are tight. The resources are tight in private industry right now, and resources are tight in public education. But I think the statewide statistics are like less than 30% of the kids go into 4-year schools. And primarily that's what we're training them to do. So there needs to be some adjustment.
I think that there's many avenues once a student graduates that they can enter. They are the traditional colleges and universities, but I think we've got a lot of technical schools that are rising up and offering some wonderful programs, particularly in the area of technology. There's a lot of new fields and occupations that I can't really even address that are coming into the forefront, that I think we're going to see more those type of technical schools that are going to offer very specific skills for young people to go into.
Well, in the Ventura Unified School District, we have a motto, and our motto is safe, healthy, and high-performing schools for every child. And that motto has been said 1,000 times over. I see it on marquees, I see it in newsletters, I hear principals say it, and certainly as the superintendent, I've said it as many times as I can imagine. But in Ventura Unified, safe does not mean high fences and metal detectors. Safe means connectedness and belonging and finding a spot and making sure that you are well respected on a campus regardless of who you are or where you come from or what you bring to the table. And that includes safety for our staff members, safety for our students, safety for our parents. Healthy is an aspect that we're really proud of, and health includes what we feed our children. It also includes the social emotional well-being of our children through our wonderful counselors and opportunities for our students to participate in programs such as Lesson 1, programs such as asset development, or being on the basketball team. I mean, that's an opportunity of a healthy environment. And then, of course, the high academics, high performance, I think it follows. I don't think you can have one without the other. I don't think we can have high academic performance if our children don't feel like they're in a really safe and healthy place first. So we never lose sight of the fact that we're dealing with children, and it is our privilege and our responsibility to ensure their safety and their health, and then we can create the mathematicians and scientists of our future.
Our mission is to provide hope and energy and passion for all the kids that we serve. And when we say all kids, we mean all kids. Too important for us not to address all kids. And sometimes that's difficult with large class size, 30 children in a kindergarten classroom. But there's nothing more important. And we are so blessed that we have such great teachers and wonderful administrators and an incredible support staff that provides just this wonderful service for all the children and families that we're so fortunate to serve in the Oxnard School District.
The mission statement for Santa Paula Elementary School District is quite diverse, and it really talks about us being an agriculture community and how we provide individual education to students so that they can achieve their academic success and be productive citizens throughout their lifetime. And I think that's key. One of the great reasons I like being in Santa Paula, it is an agriculture community. I come from a long history of agricultural family myself. My family having been in the farming business since the early 20s. And I grew up that way, and it's a great way of life, and that's the way of life we have in Santa Paula. It's kind of a unique area in that we are very agriculture based, and if you just look at Santa Paula compared to other areas of Ventura County, if you look at it in isolation, you'd think it's a very rural agriculture area. However, we're only about an hour and 15 minutes from downtown Los Angeles, and so it really kind of blends the both. And so I think having that small town feeling, and the best part of Santa Paula School District for the education of youth is it is that rural small school feeling with a 21st century education. And for that, we can provide for our students the high academics, the high social and behavioral type education that turns them into very productive citizens ready to go anywhere in the world and succeed.
The Oxnard Union High School District's mission statement that we're trying to redefine the high school experience for the 21st century learner. What that means is that in a traditional sense, we have prepared students for a pathway. And what we need to recognize is that preparing students for the 21st century.
If I was to state the mission statement, actually we don't, if I was to state mission statement of Conejo Valley Unified School District, I tell you we don't have a mission statement because I'm not a big fan of mission statements. I do like strategic plans of 2 pages or less. You know, I like to see things focused and relevant. We always talk about the big 3, which is world-class academics, activities that move children's hearts, and safe schools. Academics speak for themselves. Activities for me are fine and performing arts, academic competitions like debate, mock trial, Olympics of the mind, and then athletics. And then finally, safe schools. Ultimately, school should be a place that's physically safe for kids, a place that's emotionally safe for kids. That's our mission. That's what we strive for. We hit the mark sometimes and sometimes
Our
we don't.
mission statement would be that we are committed to find the best in every student and provide a rigorous education for each and every student in Moore Park.